Dave Jensen writes, he wants to be known for championships. We just want credit for once existing. LeBron's hair follicles.
Traditional media outlets such as newspapers and magazines have been struggling to compete against new technology. Nevertheless, radio is one outlet that has managed to stay strong and popular for more than a century. But how do they do it?
Check.
First of all, you talk about radio. Radio is one platform that is working. Television is also working. The internet is also working. Newspapers, magazines, those are definitely in decline. It's just the new medias that we're messing with, okay? You're also talking about Twittering. You're also talking about Facebook. All the social media is also blowing up as well. Radio is going to be successful for a long time while all the people in the world were asking, when is radio going to die? Because it's an antiquated medium because it came out of a box. Well, now you get radio on your cell phone. You get radio on your smartphone. You get radio in your car. You get it in the bathroom. You get it in the kitchen. Until they have robots driving people to work, radio is going to be a unique system to push out for the advertising world, to push out for the platforms, whether it be Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC. It's just another touch point for their viewers or our listeners. That's why radio still works.
Ratings for the first week of the NCAA tournament were the highest, Jay, in 23 years for the second and third round games. The action on CBS and Turner grabbed a 6.3 rating in Sunday's action, with Florida Gulf Coast beating San Diego State to get to the Sweet 16. They came in at a 7.6 rating, the highest in 20 years.
The difference between radio and TV, in my mind, is a term called theater of the mind. TV gives you pictures, and you can see what is on television, and it gives you a sense of you don't have to use all your senses, I guess, is what you say. Radio, we've just got sound, so we have to paint a picture for a listener, show them what's going on, and do it with just words. It's something that isn't easy. I don't want to say that TV is easy, but there's just a different aspect of it with radio. I believe that radio is unique in terms of it's changed throughout the years, but it still hasn't because of that reason of painting a picture. We remember in the 1930s and 40s radio programs doing long stories, telling stories at night that people would sit around the radio and listen to. While that format is not here today, you're still, quote-unquote, painting the picture of what you're talking about. And I think that's what sets it apart from TV. TV, you have the picture. Radio, you have to develop it.
We're about a minute out.
We are about a minute and 40 seconds out.
How about I produce my own show today? My goodness gracious.
Producing J. Mohr Sports, a national radio show, is not nearly as easy as it seems. A lot of work goes in the day before to make sure the following day's show is ready to go. We're constantly looking for ideas, direction. We're printing out stories. We're trying to figure out exactly what we're going to talk about. So when we show up the next day, everything is ready to go. Our guests are confirmed. Stories are printed out. We have our rundown written up, ready to go. So as soon as Jay shows up, we're ready to roll.
But he got Morrison, Hendricks, and Co. Have you ever been? Have you ever? Oh!
I don't think radio will die. There's been a lot of false alarms. Don't forget, car washes and movie theaters were supposed to die too. As soon as they showed movies on television, they said the movie theater is going to go out of business. They're all still there. Car washes are still there. People want to get in their cars. They want to listen to the radio. And now everything is on demand. The internet, podcasting, there's a lot of choices. But I do think there's always going to be a home for radio in people's minds. People are creatures of habit. And if your habit is to get in the car and play the radio, nothing's really going to shake that up for you. You might make time for the internet. You might make time for a podcast. But if you enjoy listening to the radio, if you have a favorite show, you're still going to listen to it. And people are still going to advertise on it, which is the most important thing.
Well, they got healthy. I mean, for at least that period of time when, they got Hanley Ramirez back. Puig came in, obviously did a great job. Ethier, after a slow start, got rolling. Eventually, Kemp came back. So when the Dodgers were healthy, they were the best team in baseball.
Here's Don.
Well, the one thing about doing radio, and I've always considered myself a radio guy who does television, the reason being is the connection with the audience. Why does radio resonate? It's simple. It's a more intimate medium. You know, I learned this years ago when my late great partner, Chef Forty, passed away back in 1996. And so many people who had never even met him felt this connection to a guy that was part of their day, day in and day out. And it told me what's the difference between radio, where you sit down and you talk and you listen to these people talk, as opposed to someone you're actually watching on television. So they're completely different mediums, but this is how in a day and age where everyone says radio seems to be part of something that was 50, 60 years ago is as strong as ever, because the connection between the host of these radio shows and the audience never diminishes.
After their big celebration in Pittsburgh, they have now landed in St. Louis on how the team deals with distractions.
The reason why radio is still so very much relevant, see all these cars? They got to do something in there, and they all listen to the radio. I mean, they go by and they see this, they honk, but people are in their cars, they want information, they're turning the dial. Not everybody has an iPod hooked up. All these cars, all these people, well, there they go. We're at a stoplight now. But they all are potential listeners. So the thing about radio is that you can take it anywhere. I mean, even back in the so-called old days, kids would put radios under their pillowcases and they'd sneak radios, transistor radios into school. But now you can get radio everywhere. You can get iHeartRadio, get it digitally. And so it's a one thing, it's a one medium you can always get anytime you want.
Even flow through the ride like butterflies. He don't know, so he chases them away. Someday he'll begin his life again,
You made Toohey smile again.
Kneeling, looking through the dots and no right.
What?
Oh, praying. Now that something had never showed him an anytime.
He's reading the words.
Made me so good, you know. Understand the weather's winter on his way. Oh, yeah.
Good door.
Oh, silly. Fearing for between the leg or her to Sharma.
Good door.
Yeah.
Charmin.
Even flow. Those are right like butterflies.
Oh my God.
He don't know.
Butterflies.
So he chases them away.
I feel good because I know there's a God.